try to lose them in the dark. Colors bleed together, I can't run any faster. It will end before it starts. I'm up against a wall. How can it be growing taller? I'm high on adrenaline. I see the world burning in a vision. Hands up as you fall, don't know anything at all. Hands up as you fall, singing faster. Hands up as you fall, don't know anything at all. Hands up as you fall, spinning faster.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome here to the Tameside Stadium for live National League North football. I hope everybody is having a fantastic Saturday afternoon. It is a really, really good game here to look forward to this afternoon. It is Curzon Ashton playing host to Spennymoor Town. We'll go over the team lineups now while we have the time. For Curzon Ashton, the big news change is in and around the squad. No Marcus Posher, he's been dropped from the side, and Adam Thomas starts in the lineup with Matthew Challoner making way for him on the bench. So the lineup for Curzon Ashton is as follows. Chris Renshaw is in goal. Adam Thomas, the aforementioned player who makes his start after being named on the bench against Kidderminster but not featuring. Alex Curran, Tom Pearce, Jordan Wilson, Scott Wilson, I should say, Jordan Lassie, Jordan Richards, the captain Craig Mann, Adam Barton, Luke Mariette makes a start, and Joe Nolan. On the bench is Matthew Challoner, Connor DeMaio, Craig Hobson, and two new faces to the first team setup, Tom Johnson and Paul Cooper. For Spennymoor Town, there's no changes to the lineup that drew up against Brackley Town last weekend at home. So the lineup reads as follows. Harry Flatters is between the sticks. He's in there for the past few games while Jordan Amisa is serving his 3-match red card ban. Ethan Pye, Jamie Chandler, Joseph Tate and James Curtis, the captain for Spennymoor, all line up in the back. Glenn Taylor, Robert Ramshaw, Jordan Preston, Jude Oyubo, Kenton Richardson and Jordan Thulis round it off for the visitors. On the bench is Ethan Beerley, a return for Christopher Mason, Claudio Afuso, Ryan Hall and Luke Spokes with an injury coming to Dice. So I'll welcome you one and all to what is a bright but slightly chilly Tameside Stadium this afternoon. There is quite a spot of cloud cover, dark cloud cover that's coming over the just past the far stand with the standing area of the terrace. We'll dive a little bit into the behind the scenes and the background of the visitors today, who did draw 1-1. Last weekend at home to Brackley Town. They trailed for 81 minutes after Jude Oyubo scored in the 90th minute to rescue a point. Means that they're now 4 games without a win. The last one was to Kettering at home during the middle of March. Scoreline 2-1 there on the 12th. But they have had a pretty decent March. 11 points from a possible 21 through the month. Puts them 1 point above Curzon Ashton in the league, who are 12th with 44 points. They are currently sitting 6 points behind Southport, all the way up in 7th in the playoff places. But their goal difference is certainly not going to be helping them out if they are trying to get there. Currently sitting with a -2 goal difference, so this is a massive 6-pointer for both teams across either side of the table. Of course, for Curzon Ashton last Saturday, well, I think it's a case of the less said, the better for the trip to Kidderminster. The Nash being handed their largest loss of the season, 5-0 away from the team that fell short in the FA Cup 4th round. They were dominated from the first whistle, which was probably not much of a surprising for a team and a setup that run around Premier League side for the fun of it during the back end of last year. There were a couple of flashes of quality. Tom Pearce had a decent chance, and Alex Curran looked relatively bright. But the downfall started when Jordan Lassie turned it into his own net. And then it was all downhill from there in the second half. It's just the one place that they dropped from that result, but of course with the 5-goal margin, it is a lofty hit to the goal difference, a lofty hit to the confidence as well, because it leaves Curzon Ashton as well winless in 4. The last win, of course, coming away at Bradford Park Avenue, where Alex Curran scored his hat-trick. At Action around the National League North as well, in and around the grounds. We have AFC Fylde hosting Farsley Celtic. Blythe travel to Boston. We are, incidentally, the opponents for next Saturday for Curzon Ashton. League leaders Gateshead, they travel to Brackley Town in what is a big top-of-the-table clash. Bradford Park Avenue, they have the tough job of hosting Kidderminster. Chorley take on Guiseley. Hereford host Alfreton Town. Darlington travel all the way to Leamington. Southport against Kettering Town, and the new club for Harry Flowers, Telford, is hosting Gloucester City. And of course, as well, we have FA Trophy semi-final action kicking off. The game that is yet to kick off has, I believe, been delayed to a 3:15 kickoff. But in the other semi-final, Wrexham have made it to Wembley. It is a true Hollywood sensation story. It is a 2-0 victory for Wrexham over Stockport County. They will be going to Wembley. So we're just a few moments away from kickoff here as the seats and the crowd start to fill up and pack in. This is promising to be a real barnstormer of a game. Two teams that seem like they might be quite evenly matched. Wondering if Curzon Ashton have learnt from the mistakes and the missed opportunities that they had last weekend. In his interview after the game, Adam Lakeland, head coach and manager, said he was extremely disappointed with the performance, and promised that it was nothing to do with the new system that has been put in place over these last two games. Of course, switching to a back five. There is the formation that we are expecting Curzon to line up with this afternoon. We are expecting that it is going to be Richards, Barton and Wilson in the back three, and then Adam Thomas in the right wing back position and Luke Marriott possibly on the left hand side. We'll wait to see when the teams make their way out of the tunnel and take the pitch for the first time, which is just moments away, with the young mascots lined up, ready to greet both sides on. Curzon Ashton will be wearing the home all blue. Spennymoor will be wearing black and white shirts with white shorts. Sun's starting to brighten up and show out. There's not much of a heavy wind yet. There is a slightly light wind coming from the my right hand side, drifting over towards the left, so the car park end, I suppose you could say. Here, a couple of shouts of encouragement down below me from the tunnels as the players and the referees make their way out onto the ground.
Please welcome onto the pitch.
Your referee for this afternoon, Richard Aspinall, and the two linesmen, William Vaughan and Joe Cunningham, as the two teams make their way out onto the ground. The sky starts to darken as that dark cloud cover starts to drift over. Is it the prelude to a storm that we are about to see unfold? Head coach team as well for Spennymoor down there taking their positions in the away bench. Anthony Johnson and Bernard Morley joining the club in December 2021 after 3.5 years at Chester. They're not the only ones to have come from Chester this season as well. Judah Yebo has also come from Chester with the two new managers. Obviously the player that rescued a point for Spennymoor in their last outing. He was also, Curzon Ashton faithful might remember, made 13 appearances for Curzon Ashton during the 2021 season.
Number 10, Alex Curran. Number 11, Tom Biggs.
So players just starting to put themselves through their paces for the last chance.
Number 17, Jordan Richards. Number 21, the captain, Craig Bunn.
And we are going to get underway very, very soon. Two captains are going to meet in the middle to decide the toss. Of course, captain for Curzon Ashton, Craig Martin, in his 36th appearance across all competitions. And James Curtis, captain for Spennymoor, game number 23 for him. And speaking of appearance numbers and milestone appearances for Chris Renshaw, it is game number 40 across all competitions this season for Renshaw. It does certainly look like the way that Curzon are initially lining up that Luke Marriott is going to be playing on the left-hand side. So it does look like the kind of setup that we were expecting. Two handshakes, a couple of pleasantries. Chris Renshaw makes his way out of the tunnel as well. Bit of a late comer to the party, perhaps. But he's here now. We're all here now. There's plenty of crowd in. And obviously all you fine folks here joining from wherever you may be listening around the world, or in the comfort of your own home, or possibly even here live with me at the Tameside Stadium. Referee just doing his final counts, doing the checks. And we are just moments away from kickoff here in the National League North. Curzon Ashton will be kicking from right to left in the blue, and Spennymoor will be kicking from left to right. Curzon have the kickoff as well. Referee blows his whistle and we are underway here at the Tameside Stadium for this National League North tie. And it looks like we are starting off with a back four for Curzon Ashton, as Richards is on the far side and the right-hand side with the ball currently. He's going to send it backwards to Barton. And now here is Wilson, who's being pressed quickly there. And you're going to see our first throw-in of the game. Man in the press there was Jordan Thulis, who long-time followers of the National League North might remember used to play for Harrogate Town when they were back in the National League North. Throw-in is taken up towards the chest of Piers, but that's hooked forward. Barton is going to have to do a little bit of covering. The initial clearance wasn't quite the sweeping boot that Barton wanted, but it all sits up okay. Here's Richards. Now Thomas on the far side of the ground, turning a little bit in trouble. He's going to have to retreat. Richards on the far side, looking to try and send Piers in behind. He's got to take there to try and beat. Piers has managed to hold it up there, and he eventually dispossessed, but it's fallen all right for Thomas. Still on the far side of the ground, but that second touch takes it over the line. Assistant on the far side of the ground there, flagging pretty quickly. And we're going to have our first action for Harry Flatters of Spennymoor Town. So it's an interesting start here for the home side, who will obviously be relatively tentative after their past two fixtures, conceding 9 goals in 2 games against two very, very good sides. Be interesting to see how they react here to a side that is just one place above them in the league standings, and very much shares a similar form. Thulis tried to angle that ball into Oyibo. Now it's sitting here on the far side for Spennymoor. There was a call for it for Ramshaw there in the middle, and now continuing on the far side of the ground. Richards got a lot to do, and it's eventually cleared away by Barton. Dangerous little bit of passage of play there on the far side of the ground, not quite watched perhaps. And we're going to have our first throw in as soon as we get a ball back. So thrown on the far sides, taken over towards Oyibo. Hustled there by Nolan, and his return obviously recently came back to Curzon Ashton. Here's Oyibo, skips past one, and now he's got a bit of space to try and drive into. Richards is going to have to watch him closely. It's still Oyibo, sat up for him, and now a shot is taken away by Preston, and it's a simple one into the hands along the ground for Renshaw. Just kept it up with a couple of touches with his right boot, and then tried to swing with a little bit of power, but couldn't quite get the force on it that he would have been looking for. As we now restart, Renshaw releasing up towards Piers, but the only man reaching that ball was the captain, Curtis. Here's Oyibo. Now to Pye, who's going to go all the way back to his goalkeeper. He's going to come to this near side for Richardson. Marriott pressing, and Marriott reached the first ball, but his pass towards Mann was too hefty. And it's set back now, looking to try and launch forward towards Richardson for Spennymoor Town. The initial header away was good, but there's some space here to continue the attack. Marriott on the cover, and Wilson's going to just see that one out for a throw-in on the near side, about 5 yards shy of the corner flag. Chance of Curzon are coming around the grounds. I think it's one of the first few times that I've heard that so far. We're going to get our first corner kick as well now. No purchase being made after the throw-in, and we'll get to see what Spennymoor Town are like from the dead ball. It's Jordan Preston, who's the man that is standing over it, the player who recently joined from Boston, making his 8th appearance for Spennymoor this afternoon. Renshaw initially decides to come, but thinks better of it, and then, well, gee, I hope that your car's parked in a safe spot. Robert Ramshaw just absolutely threw everything at that, and, well, that ball was just sent into orbit. Hopefully, everyone's got insurance in the car park there today. Here's Barton on the far side for Curzon. Piers trying to touch down. Now here's Nolan continuing on the far side of the ground. He's watched by 2 black and white shirts, and eventually the 3rd shirt there in Chandler is there to cut it out. And we are now going to get a Spennymoor Town throw-in on the far side of the ground. Now there's a secondary ball. There's another ball on the pitch here that nobody's noticed. And, well, this is going to be an interesting passage of play. Now, this is really, really interesting. There was a ball that was on the near side of the ground here, just in front of the home bench. The play was switched from far side over here to the near side. Referee on the near side of the linesman initially had his flag up to indicate to the referee that the ball was on the pitch. Referee then put his flag down, and it's all eventually ended up in a second corner to Spennymoor Town, which Preston takes over towards the centre of the goal. It's headed away, though, by Nolan. It's still lurking around, though. Eyubo now on the far side of the ground. Thomas is going to go into a bit of a collision with him. And it's going to retreat all the way backwards with Chandler, and now sitting with the goalkeeper, Flatters. Here's Richardson now on the near side. A little bit of space ahead of him, and some couple of runs that are being asked for as well. Wilson heading it down to Marriott here on this left-hand side, playing left back for the first time here this season. Wilson just going short and backwards inside his own box to Renshaw. And now over towards the far side of the ground in the path of Thomas, who initially managed to get the head on it. And the last touch is judged to have come off of Ethan Pye there on that far side of the ground, the Stockport loanee, who has made a first cup, FA Cup, has played FA Cup football in the first round as well. He came off of the bench against Bolton in that tie. Here's Alex Curran on the far side of the ground. Piers looking for the first time over the top ball to Curran, still on the far side of the ground. Initially, the cut back to Piers wasn't quite on the right angle. It was just behind him, and now here is Thewlis on the far side of the ground, looking to try and go over the counter. It's Taylor that's trying to run in behind. And referee taking a couple of seconds to make his decision there. It is going to be another throw-in to Spennymoor Town on the far side of the ground. Adam Barton had a lot to do and did it successfully over there. So, coming up to 8 minutes gone. Still 0-0 here at the Tameside Stadium between Curzon Ashton and Spennymoor Town. Here is Tate in centre back for Spennymoor Town, the man who rejoined this side from after spending time as well with Philadelphia Union all the way in the United States. Also spending time in the USL Championship. Here is Marriott now in sort of centre-back position. Had to get rid of that quickly. Richardson was pressing. Now a snapshot, and it's in! It's snuck in as well. Glenn Taylor is taking a shot with his left boot from range, and it's snuck in past the near post of Chris Renshaw. And just like that, Curzon Ashton are down yet again. It's a great shot that's thundered in. You'd have to say that Renshaw needs to do better after having been beaten at his near post with the angle of the shot, but gee whiz, what can you say? It is Curzon Ashton 0, Spennymoor Town 1. I think it took a lot of people by surprise. I thought initially from my position that sorry, excuse me there. I just had to confirm with the voice of the stadium, Ollie, that the scorer of that goal. But yes, we restart this game with Curzon Ashton trailing yet again. That is now 10 goals conceded in Curzon Ashton's last 3 games, and something really needs to change here. Mariette tries to go the ball forward, but that was over the top of the head of Pearce, who's calling for that ball to come to his feet. Take now for Spennymoor, going towards the far side of the ground. Plenty of time and space for Richards to bring that down. Curran tries to chest it down. Thomas in with a challenge, but Chandler takes that one away. Oyibo. Now here is the Ramshaw coming near side for Kenton Richardson, who's not really being pressed or worried at all. Tate was being half pressed. Now Richardson is being pressed by Mann, who's urging his side to push up forward and start to try and begin a press. Clearance away from Flatters wasn't the most convincing. It swirled away, and it's going to be a throw in here on the near side of the ground just in front of me that Luke Mariette is going to take. We are going to get rid of you because we don't like follow botting. Goodbye. Far side of the ground now. Here's Nolan, tries to take it down with a touch after the ball over from Richards. And we are now going to see a goal kick. So we are past the 10-minute mark now here at the Tameside Stadium. If you are just joining us, it is Curzon Ashton 0 and Spennymoor Town 1. It is an absolute nightmare start for the home side, who are winless within 4. There's plenty of time yet to reclaim this one, but here now continuing again. There was almost chance for a second there. It was Thewlis that was making the through ball run, and an appeal. And I think there's going to be a corner coming here for Spennymoor. Or is it going to be a free kick? Let's have a look. It is going to be a corner indeed. And it's going to come from the far side of the ground. It's taken short. Oyibo slips past Richards. Still Oyibo! Ooh. There was a chance there. There was a foot out there as well. Looking for a stray sweeping back foot. I'm not quite sure who it might have been. I think it might have been Jordan Thewlis, you know. The man with his head in his hands. Almost slipped a second one past the near post of Chris Renshaw. It's another very, very big let off. Oyibo there as well, just easily slipping past Jordan Richards on the right-hand side, the far side of the ground. As the goal kick is sent long. Here now is Pearce on the far side of the ground, trying to continue on for Thomas. But he had a little bit too much pep in his step. And there's going to be a throw-in on the far side of the ground to Spennymoor Town. As the clouds really, really start to darken over. There are blue skies overhead though as well. Hopefully that can be the case for the home side here. That's well fought there by Thomas to win back possession. Barton is going to go all the way back to Renshaw, who's going to send it long towards this near side of the ground for Mann, who was never really going to get there. Ball sailing over his head, as well as Richardson, who was watching him in the contest. And we're going to have a throw in now to Spennymoor on the near side of the ground, just in front of me. Richardson standing over it. He's just going to go the quick short one to Tate. It's going to come all the way back to Harry Flatters. Pearce is breathing down his neck now over to the far side of the ground. Here's Oyibo running into Thomas. Clash of feet on ball, and it is going to result in a throw in to Spennymoor on the far side. So coming up to the quarter of an hour mark, we will see if we can have a little bit of a check around the grounds in the next stoppage as well. Here now is Curran trying to charge and make a little bit of space for himself. He's got 3 black and white shirts around him, decides to take the shot, and that one sails over the bar. And we will be restarting again with a goal kick. So it's the first shot, at least, for Curzon Ashton. Perhaps not quite a tester, really, for Harry Flatters. It's something that they'll certainly want to be doing, is testing and making sure that the keeper, young keeper, is on his toes. It's only his 5th appearance this season. Here's Craig Mann on the near side of the ground, trying to send that one long. Handball shout, massive, but not going to be given. Here's Curran now, charging, trying to switch this part over to the far side of the ground with Richards. Continuing now is Thomas on the far side, turns his man over there, swings the ball in towards Nolan, who heads down, ball still alive. Mann swinging it back in, shout for handball, not given away the way by the referee, and now it's going to be set on the counter-attack here for Spennymoor Town. Here is Taylor, the goal scorer, on the near side, having to be watched by Barton. He's going to have to do it alone. He has now support. He's passed it inside to the middle of the ground. He's tangled up there. Is Preston with Richards. Preston now spreading the play over to the far side of the ground to Ayibo, who takes a shot from distance, and it just bends past the far post. That's all happened very, very quickly. The dispossession in the middle of the ground to the near side. The shout for handball against Craig Mann was never going to be given, thudding against his right-hand shoulder. And then the quick attack to try and send Curzon Ashton in and through a shout for handball that was waved away fiercely by the referee, who was in a good position to see. And then almost a counter-attacking goal and a second for Spennymoor. Here's Barton now trying to hook this one over to the far side of the ground, and it's dealt with and headed away by the captain Curtis, who joined Spennymoor Town in 2016 after making almost 600 appearances for his former side, Gateshead. And a player who is very highly regarded across players and coach and fans here for Spennymoor. He's managers and players player of the season winner last season. So here now is Adam Barton on the far side of the ground for Curzon Ashton. Thomas is being driven inside his own half there by Pye, who's watched him really, really deep into the attacking half for Spennymoor. Now here is Wilson. Trays a long ball on the ground that sees absolutely nobody in particular. And we sat at the grateful, I should say. I mean, they very well might be graceful feet. They can't even speak today. But either way, I digress. Now here is Thomas, dead on the centre circle. Mann trying to twist and turn past 2 or 3, turns inside himself a couple of times and eventually comes away through the middle of the ground. Now on the far side is Richards. Ball goes thudding against Ayibo, and it is flagged for a goal kick to Curzon Ashton. Adam Lakeland can hear there on the home touchline, geeing up his players, encouraging his players. It's not been a bad 5 minutes of game time, certainly over these past few moments, but still not quite nothing to show for it. Not quite tested Flatters in goal yet, but you have to hope that it is going to come. Here is Thulis now after the long ball from Richardson, trying to get past Mariette, who takes a slip but stays on his feet and watches well. That's very well done there. And now Mann comes in to help out with the defensive duties. Very, very well done there by Luke Mariette. Give him a lot of credit there. Tate sends it backwards to Flatters, who's come out of his box to meet that one, and it almost collided with the head of Thomas. It is with him now. Here is Piers on the far side of the ground for Curzon Ashton. Lassie looking to switch possibly. There's a run on for Marriott if they want to use him. Here is Mann to Nolan in the middle of the ground, retreating eventually from the final third, and now coming back into it, this time via the far side. Here's Curran, who tries to sweep a low ball in first time, and is going to be a throw in after a sliding block by Chandler. And referee's just going to call a stop and have a chat to one of the players there. It's Joseph Tate that's in, shall we say, passionate conversation there with referee Richard Aspinall. Not quite sure what he's seen there or what he's taking offence to or exception to. But referee certainly saying he brought the captain in there as well, Curtis, possibly giving last rites and final rebukes already, and 20 minutes haven't gone yet. Throw-in taken now. Here's Nolan. Continuing on the far side, Thomas. Sweeping ball in with the left boot. It's been seen out to Marriott. Now here is Mann on the near side of the ground, just outside the 18-yard box. He's made some space for himself. Fakes the shot initially and sends the covering defender on a slide. And then the clearance away on the near side of the ground for another Curzon Ashton throw-in. This isn't bad from the home side now. Marriott takes quickly, returned to him from the first touch by Mann. Now here is Curran. Mann on the near side, looking to swing a ball in. It just doesn't have the dip. Over to the far side of the ground, and it's going to be a goal kick to Spennymoor. But this isn't a bad 5-10 minutes here now for the home side. It's starting to build their confidence a little bit, starting to try and exert a little bit of pressure and presence in this contest as we tick up to 20 minutes gone, and Curzon Ashton continue to trail 1-0 here at the Tyneside Stadium. Glenn Taylor, the goal scorer for Spennymoor Town. Here now is Wilson. Sending the ball long. Curtis with a header away for Spennymoor, but it's going to come back. Here's Thomas. Curran trying to win off of the head. A little bit of a high boot there, waved away by the referee. Marriott goes in with a boot. And here is Piers, who is veered offside. And we are now going to have a free kick here in the middle area of the defensive half for Spennymoor Town. As you've got to wonder what more do Curzon have to do to even get a shot on target. They've certainly looked lively. Another throw-in to come here. Just in front of the home bench here on the near side of the ground. Richardson takes the throw-in towards the Thewlis area. He passed back from Chandler. Here now is Curtis, who's trying to drive now over towards the far side of the ground. That pass asking a lot there of Pye, and he manages to answer the question, but he's going to have to retreat all the way back to Flatters. He's going to bring it towards the middle of the pack for Tate. It's being watched and chased by Curran, who does well to just hurry him out of that. Marriott leaving that one for Wilson behind him. Here now is Jordan Lassie in the middle of the defensive half for Curzon to Barton. Initially feints trying to continue on the far side and switches inboard instead. Here's Wilson. Mann's trying to make a little bit of a run ahead of him on the near side of the ground down the line. Now here's Lassie. He's going to go far side. Richards has got a lot of work to do there to chase that ball down, and try as he might, which he certainly did, he will not reach that one. And we are going to have another goal kick to Spennymoor. Well, now would be the time that I would give you live updates of what is going on in and around the National League North, but I'm afraid that there's nothing to show you at this point in time. Unless I click into... there we go. So AFC Fylde are 1-0 up against Farsley Celtic as this goal kick is taken long. Sent high up into the air of the Tameside sky. Marriott with a header on towards Piers. He's beaten the initial challenge there as well, and Piers is now trying to build on the near side of the ground, having to beat two or three Curzon players there, and a little bit of a bubble around in the box there. Thulis goes down in a heap, but no challenge and no foul is seen by the referee. And Curzon continue to try and press. Here is Thomas. Now with Richard. Excuse me. Richards on the far side, who brings it inside to Barton and completes the full switch to Marriott on the near side. We're going to send the ball on the ground. It wasn't a bad idea either to Nolan, but just a little bit too far in front of him. Clearance going in towards the Marriott direction, and we will see a foul there for the challenge on Luke Marriott. And we're going to get a free kick that's taken quickly. Barton over towards the far side with Richards. Here is Lassie. Back to him from Nolan. Now here is Richards. Coming all the way back to Barton. A lot of space out here on the near side for Marriott if they want to use him. Instead, they're going to go up the gut. Here is Curran on the far side. Adam Thomas being held onto there slightly by Pye. And then a sighter from Nolan. Quite similar to Curran's attempt for quite a few moments earlier. Just never really looking like it was going to go on target. And we restart with a goal kick here in the 25th minute. Curzon Ashton still trailing 1-0, but having the Lions' share of possession in this first half, especially in the past 10-15 minutes. The opening goal of this game coming from Glenn Taylor, who fired a shot from distance with his left foot. Don't quite know if Renshaw saw it late or he was wrong-footed, but beaten at his near post. And it makes goal number 10 in game number 3 that Curzon Ashton have conceded. Big shout for our ball from both sides, and it is going to be favoured to Spennymoor Town on the near side of the ground, much to the protests of the Curzon faithful. Richardson now just waiting for the right run and tries to find it in Thulis, but he was being watched by 2 blue shirts. Here's now Nolan, who is now being hassled by 2 black and white shirts. Sent long by Tates, and challenge there is going to go in, and is going to be a free kick on the near side of the ground to Spennymoor. He's very far on this near side, about 25 yards out from goal. As Adam Lakeland orders his instructions, sends his instructions out, and looks to try and gee up a response here for his side, who have certainly gone into free fall as of late, winless in 4. But so are Spennymoor Town. But they are the ones that are in the lead here on the road. It is Jordan Preston stood over it. He's going to send the ball over towards the far post. It's headed back in and then headed away by Nolan. The boot swung at there for Spennymoor. Swung back in. The initial first time clearance wasn't clean from Barton. The second one there from Wilson wasn't too bad. Piers tries to head that one on and down. Here's Oyibo, who's dispossessed. There's a great tackle there from Thomas, and now here's Piers trying to build on a possible counter-attack, but there's a lot of numbers back here for Spennymoor Town. Curran tries to fire a shot in from distance, but that one thunders against the leg of Chandler. Here's Marriott trying to head it back into a dangerous area in the final third, but now there could be a chance on for Spennymoor. Taylor on the near side. Here's Richardson. There's a man down for Spennymoor Town as well in the middle of the defensive area half for Spennymoor. It is Jamie Chandler who is down and is favouring his upper right leg, I think it looks like. Certainly his right leg. He's up on his feet now though, just stretching and testing it out. As a couple of Spennymoor players come over to the bench and take a drink, take a breather. Referee just encouraging, shall we say, the 2 Spennymoor players to rejoin the action. Tate and Preston there were the ones getting a bit of a refuel. And now the ball is going to resume with Richardson just inside the half, just past the halfway line on the near side of the ground. Urged to get on with it, and get on with it he will. Towards the far side of the ground. Coming in with a challenge was Barton, but it's still with Spennymoor in the advanced areas. Here's Thewlis looking to try and switch near side. Now Richardson has it. Watched by Mann, having to retreat and even further retreat, and that's very, very well done there, very well watched. Now here's Mann, cruising through the middle of the ground. Curran's on his left-hand side, is being mowed down there by Oyibo, and that is going to be whistled and blown for. So we will get a free kick to Curzon Ashton that was trying to be taken quickly, but referee not going to allow that to happen. We're going to have to take our time here a little bit. Free kick now taken. Lassie over to the far side, short for Barton. Back to Lassie. Now here is Wilson. Lassie again, playing a little bit of a game between themselves almost. Now Lassie trying to drive a little bit further forward. Mann makes a bit of a darting run from near side inboard to the middle of the ground. Now here is Thomas. Richards on the far side, trying to link up with Thomas again, like they have done very, very well throughout the month of February. Barton now, who's retreated back inside his own half. Wilson, his first touch wasn't tight, but there was no one coming to pressure him. And then his ball forward was only finding the head of Jude Oyibo. Here is Barton now on the return for Curzon Ashton on the far side of the ground here with Jordan Richards. Here's Barton again. Wilson, space for Mariette, ahead of him and around him if they want to use on the near side, but instead they're just going to try and continue this relentless attack on the far side of the ground. Barton to Richards now, who's going to come back inside. Wilson, the intended target. Now they do eventually use Mariette. No, Mann. Back to Wilson, and it's just seemed to be a little bit stagnant now for Curzon Ashton. A little bit more movement, a little bit more forward momentum. A lot of players back behind the ball, though, it must be said, for Spennymoor, making it very hard to try and break down. Curran with a header down after the lofty pass from Barton, and he's going to recover that ball as well after it was sent down the line by Spennymoor. Here is Wilson. Trying to drive forward, plays the ball on the ground to Curran, but his first touch was heavy, and now here's Thewlis being set free on the near side of the ground. Wilson's going to have to stand him up and watch him. It's 3 against 1 now here. Thewlis just stepping inside towards the middle of the ground. Now coming back near side, here is Richardson. Being marked there by Wilson again. Ball is swung in towards the far post, and I think the first head on it was that of Richards. And it is going to be a throw in on the far side of the ground to Spennymoor, which is taken very, very quickly. Here's Chandler now. Far side has time to pick out a cross to the penalty area, but they're just going to let that one drop and bounce out for a goal kick. So just past the half an hour mark, it is still Curzon Ashton 0, Spennymoor Town 1. Curzon Ashton have had a lot of possession, a lot of ball, but haven't been doing much with it. And they need to be a bit more clinical, a bit more sharp on the ball and around the ball even as well. That's very, very standstill ahead of Adam Barton now, who is desperately trying to look for some kind of run. Good challenge in there, though, by the captain, Curtis. And there's going to be a throw on the far side of the ground for Curzon Ashton. Curzon Ashton, the games, of course, don't get any easier in these next coming games. This run, obviously, Brackley at home on Tuesday night, which, of course, will be live here on twitch.tv/BenFits Live. Next Saturday's game, though, however, will not be, as a shout for handball there ignored. I thought there might have been a quick counter-attack chance. The attack instead might just be a little bit more calculated and need a little bit more crafting. Here now is Ramshaw just darting through the middle of the ground. Goes straight through the legs of Null and onto the far side for Oyibo. Sends Thomas for a bit of a trip. Continuing on now, here is Ramshaw, who sails over the bar again. Very, very quick and very sharp in that passage of play there. Spennymoor, lots of pinpoint passing, and you saw Ramshaw there as well. Ramshaw there, who was just carved his way through the middle of the park. Lot more needs to be done there. So Renshaw will get us back underway and restart with the goal kick. Piers chesting down. Curran tries to continue the play on. Now here is Wilson just inside his own half. Nolan with a couple of drag backs and step overs. Richards tries to send free Curran, but he was being botted out of that by Joe Tate. And it'll fall into the hands of Flatters in goal, who hasn't had too much to worry about so far in game number 5 for him. Of course, he is in for Jordan Amisa, who is serving his red card ban at the moment. Dispossessed there, or gee, Lassie went for a real trip there. Thomas goes past a couple. Now here's Mariette on the near side of the ground to his captain in Man, who's being chased by Richardson and is eventually going to send it back into his own defensive half with Lassie, but it's going to come again now on the far side with Barton. Barton tries to continue the run, and there's space ahead of it as well. He's going to make it there. That's a good tackle in by Chandler, but Barton still initially managed to come away with it, but Oyebo has done well there to commit and come all the way back to help back in the cover. Lofted ball, searching there for Glenn Taylor, the goal scorer, wasn't quite to be. Cut out by Nolan. Here now is Mariette on the near side for Curzon Ashton. Here is Thomas continuing on the near side, being watched by Thewlis, and Richardson is behind him as well. Ball into the box was over the head of everybody, and that's just going to be watched through and sit for the feet of Pye. And it's going to be sent down the line and just bounce out. Yes, now for a throw-in to Curzon Ashton on the far side of the ground. It's taken quickly. Barton now. Here is Richards, who's got a little bit of time to try and assess his options. Barton inside to Wilson, whether he'll set up the switch for Mariette. Initially ignored. Now here is Nolan. Mariette making a good run if they can find him. Man, that is a great run there by Mariette. Quite dainty. Curran there as well. He's got a little bit of space if they want to use him, but they go even further back to Man. Fakes the cross and switch over to the far side of the ground. Mariette lofts the ball over towards the far post. It's headed away. Mariette's going to get this one back as well. The touch was poor though. Didn't bring that one under control. And Nolan is in well there to cut that out. Man, backwards to Wilson. Over towards Lassie, and Barton linking up yet again. It's very much a case of the same story in every single Curzon Ashton attack at the moment. They just need a result from it, even if it's just testing the goalkeeper, as Thomas is caught late there on the far side of the ground. And Curzon Ashton are going to win themselves a free kick about 30 yards out, 30-ish yards out from goal over on the far side. It was a good move though here on this near side, and I just feel that they need to try and utilise that a little bit more. Mariette has been finding himself in acres of space here on the near side. Instead of coming near and with the youngster, they try and press far to that link up and that connection between Richards and Thomas. Hasn't been working out for them so far, but will this free kick here? Richards is standing over it, sends it low. It's flicked on by Thomas initially. Curran there trying to battle to win it. Mariette was there back, and he's going to send it all the way back to Craig Mann, who just slowly jogs for the forward. Here is now Lassie on the far side. Was almost dispossessed there by Oyebo. And now here is Wilson on the near side, inside his defensive half, with under 10 minutes left in this half plus stoppage time to come. Lassie now drives inside into the attacking half for Curzon Ashton. Goes short to Thomas, still on the far side of the ground. Richards is there to offer support, and he uses him. Now he goes all the way backwards to Lassie and even further back to Barton. They're going to look to try and set the switch up now, possibly, and then ignored from Wilson. Gee, I don't know about that one, as Mariette is in a lot of space, and they're now going to try and use him through Nolan. Not a bad touch there from Mariette, being watched by Richardson. Man looking to try and send this towards the far side of the ground on the far post. Thomas was there and got the first header on it, but I don't think he got the decisive touch on it. And now Spennymoor looking to try and drag this one away. Here now is Preston driving through the middle of the ground, switching over to the far side now with the goal scorer in Taylor, who's going to send this one over towards Thewlis, and it's just evaded him. That attack happened very, very quickly. It was quite dangerous as well. A lot of space to drive into. And the ball in there from Taylor, just out of reach of Jordan Steelis, who's got 3 goals already this season. He almost was very, very close to his 4th. We restart now with Nolan in at centre-back. Barton possibly now might have switched to that back 5 that we thought Curzon Ashton were going to line up in before the game. Here's Curran, dead on the centre circle. Now Barton in the far side. Richards. Thomas on the far side again. A little bit of space, but not much going on ahead of him. Here now is Nolan to Mann, who's got a little bit of chances here. He's driven inside the box and driven in close, and that's a good tackle there. It had to be timed very, very well. Here now is Stoulis. It's come all the way back from the final third in the advanced position for Spennymoor. The clearance was over the head of Taylor. And he's going to sit up with Barton inside their defensive half as we come up to 5 minutes plus stoppage time left in this first half and in this game. Nolan looking for the run of Thomas on the far side of the ground. How's the legs on him? Not good enough to chase that ball down. And it's going to be a goal kick to Spennymoor Town. They've looked really, really bright here this afternoon, have Curzon Ashton. But it's just that final third that they're lacking in at the moment, the home side. Not tested Harry Flatters yet. Have plenty of shots, of course. A couple, though, are coming more from far out, with obviously Curran in the midway through the first half. Flatters taking that goal kick against the back of Lassie, who is judged to have impeded the Spennymoor player there in Taylor. And we will get a free kick about 10 yards inside the attacking half for Spennymoor, which is taken quickly and sails straight over the head of Ethan Pye there on the far side of the ground. Throw and taken quickly by Richards. Here's Renshaw, who's being chased there by Oyibo, and that almost went in. Gee, that almost went in from the initial tackle. Man lets that one run, or perhaps more goes through his legs. Gee, we've had some freak goals here of late in the Tameside Stadium. They could be coming again now. Here is Nolan, challenged late, but referee says play on. Man in towards Piers, towards the middle of the far side of the ground. Here is Nolan now. He's got Marnie in the near side, and she uses, goes across the box, and it's the first save that Flatters has to make. First action at his near post, but that wasn't a bad little passage of play. We need to talk, though, about Jude Oyibo. It is an absolute textbook performance, an absolute textbook example of pressing strikers, because if you can just stick your foot in and disrupt that clearance away, then it could go absolutely anywhere. Here now is Thomas for Curzon Ashton on the far side of the ground, sending through Richards, who can't keep that ball in play. Pye was there as well to harry him as well. And there's going to be a throw-in to come for Spennymoor on the far side of the ground. So we are within the last 5 minutes of this first half. It is still Curzon Ashton 0 and Spennymoor Town 1 here in the National League North. Opening goal coming in the first 10 minutes of this game, but since then, Curzon Ashton have very much been on the front foot. Man, that's an inventive little touch there to send through Mariette. He's going to have to retreat. Lassie to Man in the middle of the ground, advanced area. Mariette is trying to present for Man. He's turning and twisting inside and outside, and is eventually cleared away by Chandler. Here's Barton though. Richards on the far side. Short to Piers. Oyibo is in there with a foot, but Barton is alert to come and win the second ball. Here is Barton now for Wilson. Lots of space again for Mariette, but Wilson instead elects to take the game on a little bit. Here's Nolan now through the middle of the pack. Thomas, Barton, Lassie. Now here is Marriott. They're going to try and use. How's his touch? It's a very good one indeed. It sends him past Richards and sending into the box. 6 yards. Pearce tries to send a foot in it. He's still around with him. 3-4 players around there. Handball shouts massive. Waved away by the referee for the second time in this half. And Lassie screams over and darts over to protest. And he's going to find himself in the book here. Jordan Lassie for his reaction. That's going to be his second yellow card in 2 games. He absolutely raced over to appeal for the handball. Yellow card there is shown to Jordan Lassie in the 43rd minute. But they are really, really pressing here at the home side. We're going to have to restart all of that with a throw-in for Curzon Ashton, which Luke Marriott, who was the man who made that chance happen, that half chance happen from that switch in the near side. Now here's Barton. Over to the far side with Richards. Here's Nolan. Now Thomas on the far side being tracked and bodied out of that ball by Pye. And it is going to be a throw-in on the far side to Spennymoor. As the seconds and the minutes, as the minutes and seconds, I should say, begin to tick down. Adam Lakeland has certainly got to go into the half-time thinking that, you know, we can get something out of this. We need to get something out of this. We just need to be better with our shot selection. Although dispossessed now here through the middle of the park in the defensive areas for Spennymoor Town. Marriott goes in there with a challenge. Thulis as well. He's the one who goes down, but no foul being given. Here is Lassie now, who is now on a yellow card after his reaction after appealing for a handball penalty just a few minutes ago. Here is Richards trying to send Pearce through. And the ball is just not going to stay up for him. Flatters was in 2 minds of whether to come and collect that one or let that one run. He gambled on letting it run and hoping that the ball wasn't going to just slow down slightly or bend the wrong way for the oncoming Pearce, who, of course, is on 5 goals this season after 13 appearances. Scored a couple of weeks ago here at the Thames side against Farsley. 2 minutes of stoppage time being indicated from the near side of the touchline. There's a throw in here is going to come for Curzon Ashton. Here is Wilson sending over towards the far side with Barton and now Richards. I like their wing play here, trying to send a long ball threaded down the line. Here's Pearce. He manages to reach that ball and trying to churn the captain Curtis inside and out. Eventually he gets the ball away. Here's Thomas now on the far side, going backwards and retreats into Barton. There's a lot of space yet again for Marriott. I feel like I'm an absolute broken record here this afternoon. Here now is Marriott, but it might be a little bit too late on this near side. Man now coming in towards the advanced area for Nolan. Now here is Thomas swinging on the ground for Pearce, and he was sliding as he was catching that ball, and it falls straight into the arms of Harry Flatters. But it is certainly better attacking football for Curzon Ashton. They are starting to feel themselves in this game. A couple of really, really good chances and really inventive passages of play. Here's now is Marriott, who uses his body very, very well to negate Thulis. Curran, his touch was a bit astray, but back there as well to help out was Thomas, who was then wrestled to the ground. No free kick being given there, which is slightly surprising given that Ramshaw, I think, had his arm close to his throat there, Thomas. But nevertheless, we are going to restart with a throw-in to Spennymoor on the near side, which Richardson is standing over to be ready to take. And he's going to send this one down the line in the Thulis direction, who heads this one back behind him. Ramshaw doesn't quite go up with that ball. Oyibo. Richardson is going to switch towards the far side, but that ball didn't exactly have the targeting and the location on it to reach its target where it should have been. Now Flatters sending the ball along to the far side of the ground, and that is going to conclude the first half of Curzon Ashton football. Well, they're down, but they're certainly not out. The only goal in this game coming in the opening 10 minutes of the game. Glenn Taylor firing home with a long-range strike with his left boot, beating Chris Renshaw from the near post. But there have been a lot of chances for Curzon Ashton. A lot of joy being made over the wings, and probably most notably the biggest chance of the game coming for Tom Pearce, who was sliding and trying to reach, almost looked like he was trying to scorpion kick along the ground, but that was met by Harry Flatters. Big second half of Curzon football coming up soon, but of course we will be taking a quick break here. When we come back, we'll be breaking down the full action of the first half and going across the grounds and around the up and down the football pyramid to see what is going on around the 3 o'clock. So we leave you here from the Tameside Stadium at half time. It is Curzon Ashton 0, Spennymoor Town 1. Don't go away.
Tuesday night, that's Leamington 0, Darlington.
So you might be able to hear just the tail end of the scores in and around the National League North. We'll bring you up to speed here now in full. AFC Fylde have, Farsley Celtic have just equalised against AFC Fylde. It is currently 1-1 in that one. Telford United are currently leading 1-0 to Gloucester City at home. They're only in the 20th minute of that game. That game having a delayed kickoff, it seems. Boston United are currently trailing 1-0 at home to Blythe Spartans. It is 0-0 between Brackley and Gateshead. Same can be said for Bradford Park Avenue and Kidderminster Harriers. Guiseley are trailing away from home to Chorley 1-0. Hereford are losing at home to Alfreton Town. That's 2-0. And then the final two games in the National League North, Leamington and Darlington and Southport and Kettering Town are both 0-0 at half time. We are half times pretty much in across the Premier League as well. It is currently Brighton and Hove Albion 0, Norwich City 0. Burnley are trailing 2-0 to Manchester City. Chelsea are currently all square with Brentford 0-0. Leeds United are leading at Ellen Road 1-0 against Southampton, and Wolverhampton Wanderers has just had the half-time whistle blown on it in their opponents Aston Villa. They are winning Wolverhampton 2-0, obviously with a 5:30 kickoff to come here in Manchester with United versus Leicester City. The 12:30 kickoff, Liverpool and Watford. Liverpool taking home the 3 points and another clean sheet. 2-0 in that one. And we will see the update to play in the FA Trophy. York City are currently leading 1-0. Apparently that is only in the third minute. So York City are winning away from home in the FA Trophy, of course, trying to continue their fantastic run in that competition. And if things stay as they are, they will be going all the way to Wembley to face up against Wrexham. So moving, focusing back in closer to home here with Curzon Ashton. It is currently 1-0 to Spennymoor Town, although the scoreline might not quite speak the volume or say to the speak to the performance of the home side. It is certainly a far more impressive performance than that they have been put on over the past couple of weeks away at Kidderminster and Gateshead respectively. They've looked very bright here. They've now started to test the young Harry Flatters a little bit in between the sticks. But they need to put one past the youngster. You have to say that Piers, who's getting in and around the right areas, Luke Marriott as well. I've mentioned him a few times. Got to mention him again. He's having a really strong game here on this near side, this left back position. He's getting into a lot of space, and of course that first big chance that was created from the through ball over the top for Marriott into chase from Scott Wilson. They need to try and utilise him a little bit more, use his pace, use his youth, use his ingenuity to try and build an attack. Of course, Alex Curran is going to be one to keep an eye on as well. Top goal scorer for the side with 12 in his 37th appearance. He was brought off against Kidderminster as well, bear in mind. That was in the 73rd minute. So whether we're going to see a similar story again and Connor DeMaio maybe take his place, or perhaps switch him up and send Craig Hobson up top to try and join in with Piers. Of course, a big miss at the moment currently for Curzon Ashton. We still haven't seen him since picking up that injury and coming off injury against Bradford Park Avenue is that of Jamie Cook. It was a player that injected quite a little bit of directness for Curzon in attack. Like to get forward, like to try and make the chances, and it's just it's frustrating. I think is what a lot of players and fans will be feeling here in and around the club. They're having the possession, they've got the time in the forward half, but they're just not making any kind of real difficult opportunities to Harry Flatters has to answer. Looking ahead as well, obviously we are back here midweek, just in a few days on Tuesday night. Here we'll be back at the Tameside Stadium when Curzon Ashton play host to Brackley Town, and Spennymoor, they will be at home as well on Tuesday night. They host Bradford Park Avenue. Well, the last meeting between these two sides has ended in a 2-2 draw. Goals from Scott McLean and, well, incidentally, Glenn Taylor, who has already scored this afternoon. And the two goals that came from Curzon Ashton, Jack Mackay was one of them, and Matthew Waters, the man who has joined Chester and is currently on loan with Chester, scoring the second to secure the point away from home. Certainly feel like it could the game could open up primarily for Curzon any moment now. They are really trying to mount the challenge and put the back line under the pump. You can see there in the outfield as well, all five of the Curzon substitutes, as well as it looks like all five of the Spennymoor substitutes are still out on the ground. So we'll briefly talk about this time next week as well. There will be no Curzon live coverage next Saturday, and then a week on Friday as well, as I am away in New York with a university trip, university businessy sort of trip. So there will be no live commentary for those two games, but I will be back on that preceding Monday for Curzon Ashton commentary all the way through till the rest, to the end of the season. So I hope that you will join me and join us as we conclude and wrap up to this the run-in of this National League North campaign. Of course, thank any and everybody that is tuning in here this afternoon. If you're enjoying this coverage and you're enjoying the stream, then you can support the channel absolutely free by hitting that purple love heart shaped button to follow along to the stream. You'll never miss a moment and get notified every single time I go live. It's not just this Curzon Ashton commentary that is on this channel. Of course, you see here in the bottom right-hand corner the little Twitch Sports Accelerator logo. I am a part of the Sports Accelerator program with Twitch, and I was live from 9 o'clock this morning watching the Australian Football League, Aussie Rules Football. My team Collingwood, less said about that game the better. Not like we bottled a 37-point lead to lose by about 12 or 13. Enough said about that the better. But yes, that's the primary kind of content that's on the channel. So if that sort of thing would sounds like it could take your fancy, then by all means hit the little purple love heart button. Of course, you're also able, if you would like to subscribe to the Twitch stream, either for free using Twitch Prime, linking your Amazon Prime account with your Twitch account, or by spending I think it's £3 now with the current 20% off. £3, which I spent to subscribe to a good friend of mine, Henry Brand, the current reigning, defending, undisputed Pokemon TCG World Champion, and he will be coming to the UK to defend his title. That tournament coming here and moving outside of the United States for the first time ever. Will it be a chance for the young blonde bombshell to make history? So as the music blurs out and the fans start to sort of mosey their way back to the seats and to the stands with food and drink in hand, I do have to say I had a steak pie earlier before the game. It was absolutely gorgeous. I was very much a big fan. Steak pie, chips and gravy definitely gets my vote and gets my my seal of approval. Got to ask the question of what has to be done now for Curzon Ashton, other than the obvious of bring this game level and eventually hopefully take the lead. I think they just I don't know. It's difficult. I certainly think they need to use the left side of the ground more. I think they need to use Mariette more, because he's been really, really lively, really, really active over there, and he's been finding himself in quite some space. If Curzon Ashton can find him sooner, as opposed to trying to continue to force it over towards the right-hand side of the far side where Richards and Thomas both are, that's when they're going to, I think, have a little bit of joy. So the players are now making their way back out from the tunnel. Mann and Renshaw leading the charge. It's going to be a big second half of National League North football to come here. We'll see if there are any changes on the bench. Looks like there possibly may be. No, that's Thomas, I believe, there on the bench talking to Adam Lakeland, trying to see what the game plan is, what the strategy is from here. As a reminder, of course, you can see it in the scoreboard in the top right-hand corner. Curzon Ashton are currently trailing 1-0 the scoreline. The only goal coming in the first 10 minutes of this matchup, as Spennymoor Town begin to make their way back out onto the ground as well. Can't imagine that there'll be any changes or any indication of changes for the visitors at this stage. They've got the returning Christian Mason, though, as well, if they need to use him. He's the non-contract player, but absolutely a club veteran for Spennymoor Town. Another player we should probably mention is Claudio Ofuso on the bench, who was signed from Kettering in January. There's a player who was a part of the promotion-winning side for Hartlepool last season, and seeing them back into the Football League.
There's no standing in the back corner of the main stand. Please take your seats and enjoy the rest of the match.
So both sides have switched ends. Curzon Ashton will be kicking from left to right in my commentary position. Spennymoor will be going from right to left, and it will be Spennymoor with the kickoff for the second half. As the referee makes his final counts and final checks, confirming that there were no changes at half time. Both sides come out as they were in the first half. As we await the referee's whistle. He does so, and we are now underway for the second half here of Curzon Ashton football, live at the Tameside Stadium. Still currently 1-0 to Spennymoor Town, as they now have possession on the far side of the ground as they pass back inside their own half. Curtis trying to send that one to the near side of the ground, but Thulis was quick to let that one go, and Richards will watch that one go for a throw-in to Curzon Ashton here on the near side of the ground, just in front of the corner flag. So you wonder, you've got to hope that Adam Lakeland has inspired some confidence and inspired some tactics into his side here for this next half, as a ball is launched forward by Lassie, but Pearce wasn't really in any fit position to try and attack that. Oyibo takes that down very, very well. Now here is Ramshaw over now to the far side. Switch back with Ramshaw, still trying to press and pressure on that far side of the ground. Tate over the top ball, looking for Ramshaw, and it is eventually going to find him after Marriott's initial challenge, and Marriott is actually indeed going to win a free kick there, flagged by the linesman on the far side of the ground. And Renshaw will jog over to restart play. So we will see how this next half pans out, whether Spennymoor are going to try and attack this game back again and try and earn themselves a second and a little bit of a safety net, or whether they're going to sit down and just absorb the pressure from Curzon Ashton that will hopefully carry through from the first half, as a free kick is given away by Curzon Ashton. I think it was Pearce there that was had hands in the back of Tate, who certainly went over with a bit of force, and in no rush to restart play and take the free kick, because numbers are now committed forward for Spennymoor. Pye here on the near side in front of me with his arms in the air, looking to try and see that ball. Instead, it's going to come to Taylor, the goal scorer. Now here is Pye. Back to Oyibo. Pye, appeal that ball has gone out of play, and the linesman on the near side flags that it has. And so Richards will come over, ready to take the throw. Not too much presenting for him though. He's going to just have to go down the line towards Thomas, who was in an arm wrestle there with Pye. And Spennymoor are the ones that have won out. Here's Thulis looking to try and come off of that second ball as well by Taylor, but instead it is cut out by Lassie. And now here is Wilson on the far side, deep in defence, and then the pass forward to Marriott was angled to his left, and it's going to be a throw-in now on the far side of the ground, about halfway into the attacking half for Spennymoor. It's taken quickly towards the feet of Taylor. Here's Curran now after the interception, being surrounded by 3 Spennymoor shirts. He's done well there to win a throw-in for his side on the far side, which is taken quickly. Mann was met almost immediately there by Preston. Now here's Barton, switching over to the near side of the ground for Richards. There's quite a bit of space ahead of him. Thomas, his initial first-time run was ignored. That's not pretty clever, though. Thomas is initially found. Curran goes down in the box and ignored by the referee, and the ball is gathered by Flatters. It looked like there was a little bit of a nudge in there. I don't know whether it was enough to see Curran go down, but nonetheless, they are continuing to try and attack. That pass was almost very dangerous there for Thewlis, who barges in to Renshaw. Both players are on their feet, though. Oyibo goes in hard and wins the ball out, and Spennymoor, I beg your pardon, are going to win the free kick. And he's going to ensure, he's going to insist that is the free kick is taken where the foul was. It was Jamie Chandler. Stands over, but then leaves it for Tate. Plenty of numbers ahead of him as Tameside falls almost eerily quiet as things start to brighten up, and that's taken over near side over the head of his captain Curtis, and it's going to be a goal kick to Curzon Ashton. 5 minutes gone in this second half, 50 in total. It is still Curzon Ashton 0, Spennymoor Town 1. Both sides looking like they're still very, very keen to attack this game in these opening second half stages. Numbers are now committed to the far up the ground, I should say, as this goal kick is sent directly into the middle of the ground. It goes over both of the heads there, Mann being one of them. Here is Oyibo now on the near side of the ground. Richards trying to go in and watches him very, very well. And it's going to be a throw into Curzon Ashton here on the near side of the ground. Asking, you might have heard there, Adam Lakeland on the touchline saying that his players need to get up and be brave. Here is Richards with another throw in. Curran to Nolan to Mann again now, having to retreat back deep inside his own half and turn away. He's being tackled very, very hard. He actually went through the legs there of Kenton Richardson, Craig Mann, and he's going to go into the book as well. Kenton Richardson, I'm not sure whether it was for the challenge or for the reaction afterwards, but we are now going to see our second yellow card of the game, and the first for the visiting team in the 52nd minute for Kenton Richardson. Referee bringing the free kick back that was taken, wanted to be taken quickly, but free kick is yellow card has been awarded. Kenton Richardson is in the book, and Adam Barton will now step up and line up to take this free kick. It is going to come short to the near side of the ground where it did initially. Richards, Barton was dispossessed. Taylor goes into chase, and the pass back to Wilson from Wilson was a little bit too light, but it's all worked out all right. Nolan trying to send Richards through, but that's cut out well on the near side by Pye, and it's going to be a throw in to Curzon Ashton just before the halfway lines, taken back inside the defensive half for Curzon. Here's Wilson now on the far side of the ground to Barton, who's looking down the line and far for Thomas. He's going to have to go against Pye, who wins his header. Piers now. There's a good tackle though there in from Curtis, coming in from the left-hand side of Piers. And it's going to be a throw into Curzon Ashton about 18 yards out from the attacking goal. Richards passing inside the box to Piers, needs to look for a run, tries to find Thomas, who was trying to make a diagonal run in. Great second win and great second effort there from Barton, and they're going to win out with a throw in there as well. Richards, who takes it quickly to Barton. Over to Wilson. Touch straight back to him. Nolan's trying to present a little bit deeper for him. Lassie here on the near side. Back to Barton. Now it is with Nolan. Lassie being pressed and pressed hard by Thulis. Going to be another Curzon Ashton throw-in. Richards over towards the path of Curran, who was being tugged over a little bit there by Chandler, and I think he was trying to aim for Mariette, or I think Mariette was going to be the intended target because he was making another brilliant darting run over on the far side of the ground there. Not as much space being seen for him so far in these opening stages of the second half, as Curzon tried to come again on the near side. And we're going to get a throw in about 25 yards out from goal. Here is Richards, who's going to have to retreat after the press of Ayubo. And in fact, Ayubo has actually won out there, and Barton went in well with a challenge, but they're going to pull it back. No advantage can be paid. And sounds like there's going to be a yellow card here. Yeah, there is. Heard that it was going to be pulled back. The ball is here, and it's going to be a caution. So it's now Jordan Richards' turn to see his name go into the book as we enter 65 minutes, and I've lost my pen to mark that he has been booked. Ball goes long to Pye. It is touched down initially, but it's still hanging around now on the near side of the ground, just outside the box. Ayubo. Here is Pye now on the near side, going backwards to Chandler, and now all the way back to his captain in Curtis. Flatters has come a long way out of his box to try and present. Mariette, his touch to try and intercept that was too heavy. Here now is the goal scorer in Taylor. Wilson, though, helping to recover, and Mariette sends the ball long down the line, but it's going to come back again for Spennymoor Town. Here now is Chandler to Preston, driving into the advanced areas. The flag goes up. He scores through this, but the flag is apt to stop him and can see and negate the second goal. It was a brilliant run, just timed it incorrectly there. Confirmation as well there that Jordan Richards was shown the yellow card for the initial challenge on Ayebo. And now a free kick going to come to Curzon Ashton for the foul on Piers. So that offside flag is going to be a massive, massive reprieve for the home side. They need to find a goal and find one quickly. Curran sweeping ball over towards the far post. Piers rose but couldn't make it there. And now here is Richardson over on the far side of the ground. There's numbers ahead of him over here down the line if they can find him. And Mariette just elects to see that one over the line on the far side of the ground. As we are in the 67th minute here, it is Curzon Ashton 0, Spennymoor Town 1. It was almost 2, if not for the offside flag against Jordan Thulis, who just mistimed his run. It was a lovely finish. Fierce challenge in there as winning nothing but ball. And it is going to be a throw into Curzon Ashton, which is taken quickly. Piers drops the shoulder and turns his man. Tries to get away, but the ball was evading him. And now here is a possible counter-attack for Spennymoor. Thulis goes in. That's a great challenge there by Barton. Didn't slide in really at all. Just sort of went to ground and measured it. But it all coming to naught. All that hard work just sort of breaking down as it now sits with Tate over on the far side in the centre-back position. Here's Richardson, who's going to retreat all the way back to Flatters. Piers is now in the chase. The ball bobbled up a little bit there. Curran couldn't keep that one down as well off of the clearance. And now here is Curtis, the captain. Thomas tries to slide in. Now here's Preston for Spennymoor, switching over towards the far side of the ground. Hangs up a little bit in the air. There's time here for Curzon Ashton to get back though. Here is Chandler, who sends it over to the far side and is swung in. Thulis! Past the post. Plenty of time and space around him. Tries to head it down, but can't get that one on target. Goes past the far post and the right-hand post of Chris Renshaw. And it is another let-off there from Jordan Thulis and for Curzon Ashton defensively. And it's going to be another goal kick coming for Curzon. Taken now up towards the middle of the pack. Man was kind of negated and shoved out of that contest. Piers goes down and challenges hard. Here's Thomas, though, who does ride a challenge there from Chandler. Advantage being paid. Here's Richards now for Curzon Ashton on the near side of the ground, trying to direct traffic, trying to send the ball low in towards the feet of Piers. The clearance header finds the feet of Lassie directly in the middle of the ground. Now here is Mariette on the far side of the ground. Man, who passes backwards to Barton and continues to switch to the near side for Richards. He's going to go and retreat back into his defensive half of Barton. Curran, who's touched backwards, intended for Thomas, doesn't find him, and now Oyibo is driving on the near side of the ground. Nolan chasing him. Taylor is offside on the far side, and it's yet another quick defensive let-off for Curzon Ashton. Just a couple of these in quick succession here. And a yellow card, another one is going to come here. This time is going to come against Chandler for the challenge that was being made. So confirmation there that Jamie Chandler has made his way into the book on the hour mark. Now here is Piers, who is offside. So an hour gone here at the Tameside Stadium. It's still Curzon Ashton 0, Spennymoor Town 1. The only goal so far coming in the opening 10 minutes of the game. We've had 2 yellow cards as well for each side. Kenton Richardson and Jamie Chandler are the 2 that have gone into the book for the visitors. And as for Curzon Ashton, Jordan Lassie was seen yellow for his reaction after a negated penalty shout before the end of the first half, and then Jordan Richards has seen yellow as well. So the free kick is taken up towards the advanced final third for Spennymoor. Headed back and forth, and eventually is going to see the near side touchline. And it's going to be a goal kick for Richard. Free kick, throw-in, I should say. Gee. I know my football terminology, I swear. I go to a football uni. Headed behind from Chandler. Piers trying to chase. Curtis retreats all the way back to his goalkeeper and looking to try and see Taylor through. Has made a bit of a run. The touch was off of Taylor, but Mariette just electing to go the route one and punch it long down the ground. Now coming backwards with Tate, who was being pressed by Piers. Continuing trying the attack on the far side for Spennymoor, but that one's cut out well by Mariette. Here now is Barton. To Nolan in the middle of the defensive half. Barton has a lot of greenery to run into and explore. Coming near side through here for Richards. Thomas is making a run in short. Elects to try and swing the ball into the box, but Piers was in no position to attack that one. He was behind the man who was covering him. Good challenge in there, though, by Richardson on the far side of the ground. And then is going to be a throw-in to Curzon Ashton. Well, we've mentioned Kenton Richardson's name quite a lot so far in this game. He's Sunderland loanee who made his senior debut for Hartlepool and made 43 appearances in his time there, with 11 of those actually being in League 2. So he certainly is a quality player over on that right-hand side. As a change, looks like it's being readied for Spennymoor. As soon as that happens, we will let you know. Barton is tries to send it long, but is thundering into the feet of the goal scorer Taylor. And it's going to be a throw into Curzon Ashton, which is taken quickly. Lassie sending backwards to Renshaw, his goalkeeper. Now here is Wilson, a bit of time and a bit of space for the centre-back to drive into and try and pick someone out. He picks out Thomas. Piers now trying to pass on from that headed down. Curran lets that one run and it was cleared away. was dangerous initially, and now here's Taylor for Spennymoor on the near side of the ground, driving into the middle areas, and now looking to try and switch, but that pass was really, really poor for its initial intended target in Richardson. It is Ethan Brearley that is the one that is being readied, and it might be a double substitution as well, in fact, for Spennymoor Town. No action as of yet on the Curzon bench. Preston now for Spennymoor Town. Header cut away by Barton, and then Lassie's header goes straight to Chandler. Now continuing on the far side of the ground, Richardson being marked by Mariette. He's allowed to come inside and central. Now here's Pye, looking to try and carry the run through. Oyibo tight on this near side. Nolan goes into a challenge. Oyibo winning the ball again, keeping the ball in as well, and then eventually it is seen out by Nolan. The second change is going to be ready. It is Luke Spokes that is being readied as well on the sideline. The Grimsby loanee. Here's Thewlis. Now here's Craig Mann for Curzon Ashton to Richards on the near side of the ground. In fact, it was actually Thomas, and he's going to be bundling over Rob Ramshaw. And now it is time for the two changes. Brearley and Spokes are going to be coming on. And it looks like that Peacock is going to be one of the players to come off, and I think Chandler is going to be the other.
Substitution for Spennymoor Town, number 18, Brearley. Replacing number 12, Jordan Preston.
So that's confirmation that Brearley is replacing Jordan Preston, and Chandler has also made way.
Replacing number 4, Jenny Chandler.
And Craig Hobson has made his way onto the ground as well.
Replacing number 7, Adam Thomas.
Adam Thomas is the one that has made way. So a slew of changes in quick succession there. As a free kick coming over towards Thewlis, who can't continue and keep that ball in, and it's going to go out for a goal kick. So confirmation of all those changes. We'll just repeat them all, as there were 3 in quick succession. 2 for Spennymoor Town. It's Ethan Brearley and Luke Spokes that have made their way on for Spennymoor Town, replacing Jamie Chandler and Jordan Preston respectively. And for Curzon Ashton, Adam Thomas is off of the ground. Craig Hobson has replaced him. Here is now Curran on the near side of the ground, coming across to the byline. Piers was in there as a late challenge goes in, but corner ball is going to be the shout. We'll see if there can be any joy out of this opportunity here. Of course, there's no Harry Flowers to aim at here. He was typically the target from these dead balls. Richards going to be the one to take it. Floats it straight to the middle of the box. Lassie swings and misses. Initially, it's still in the box for Curzon Ashton, though. Not cleared away just yet, and now it is going to be driven away. Trying to send through Oyibo. It was a good little ball from the outside of the boot as well. On the near side, he's being watched by Mann. There's not too many up in support. They're coming now for them in numbers. Here's Pye on the near side, going to switch all the way over to the far side of the ground. Initially, I thought it was going to be Thewlis that was going to go, and it's going to score! Oh, that's a great strike! And it's 2. It's a brace for Glenn Taylor. It's another goal from distance. It's another left foot strike. And that one sailing past the near post again of Chris Renshaw. This time it was a little bit more aerial, a little bit more airborne. And it is now 2-0 to Spennymoor Town. It's a misery compiler, and it is, it's 11 goals conceded in 3 games for Curzon Ashton. How do you stem this bleeding? Well, it was a really, really well taken goal. Make no mistake about it with the left foot. But how that shot is allowed to be taken, and then it's a case of can you keep it out, and the answer was no. Too much power on it. And we now restart here in the as we come up towards the last 20 minutes of this game. It is Curzon Ashton 0, Spennymoor Town 2. Now here comes Curzon Ashton. Curran on the near side. Pye watched that very, very well. Very professionally done. And there's going to be a goal kick for Spennymoor. Well, this is going from bad to worse now from the home side for a team that just a couple of months ago, were looking like they were dreaming of promotion and dreaming of playoff football, and now having to look over their shoulders and are wondering if they are going to have to fight to stay alive in this league. Of course, Farsley, Celtic and Telford are all starting to get strong results and good results around the football league, around the league as it stands at the moment. We have to wait and see. Headed backwards by the two-time goal scorer. Oyibo has now found his way into the box and has found his way free. That's a good save, and almost was turned in inadvertently by Mariette. He eventually deals with it very, very well, and it's going to be a corner kick on the far side of the ground. Again, it happened out of almost nothing. Oyibo just floating past and coming past. It was a good save in the end from Renshaw to deny the man for his second goal in just as many games. But then the force of the save coming back and meeting Mariette from close range, and manages to turn it across the post. Here now taken over towards the far post, and Barton falls over in a heap. And it's going to be a throw in to Spennymoor on the near side of the ground. Appears not quite agreeing with the decision, but I don't think there's much that's going to be said to be able to change the referee's mind. As Pye comes over to take the throw. Initially, a run was being made short by Brearley, the substitute. It's instead going to be sent into the box, and it was met by the goal scorers. It's Thulis, who slips as he was trying to get his foot onto it. And now over on the far side for Kenton Richardson with Spennymoor. We're still trying to pressure and fight for a third goal. Nolan fighting hard there on the far side, and it's come away here again. It's Spokes on that far side of the ground, I believe, who squares the ball, tries to send through Taylor for his hat trick, but he was miles offside. And the free kick is going to come now for Taylor. It's sent long over towards the Hobson direction, who brings it down with a touch well. Nolan has to go in hard with a challenge, but Curzon lose out. Here now is Oyibo, who's been seen through by Thulis. That's a very, very well-timed challenge by Barton, and it's going to go out for a corner on the near side of the ground for Curzon Ashton, or for Spennymoor Town, I should say. I imagine a lot of fans listening on will certainly hope that the corner would have been for Curzon Ashton, but it is yet again just not been their day, and it's a case of possibly rude chances and missed opportunities to capitalise and draw the game level during the first half when they were in control. This game now is starting to slip away from them as we come up to 75 minutes played. That's going to be another corner there for Curzon Ashton, for Spennymoor. It's the second time I've done that now. Good job. Professional commentator. I certainly am not. An aspiring one. Perhaps I'll let you have that one. So, corner to come here on the near side of the ground from Spennymoor. I got it right that time. It was in towards the near post, and then it was sent into the paddock behind the goal by Hobson, and it's going to be no balls, please. And we're going to get our third successive corner that Luke Spokes has been delivering in. We will see if there is going to be a third goal to come from this. It is met away initially, but it is going to come back. Here is Spokes on the near side of the ground. I think half a shout up for offside, but no flag going up. Oyibo just floats the ball over towards the far post and is met away. The shot just snatching over on the far post and sailing over the bar. And it's going to be a goal kick here to come. So if the result stays this way, of course it's going to mean that Curzon Ashton are going to move to 5 games without a win. And of course, probably more alarmingly, is the sizable leakage problem that Curzon Ashton have at the back at the moment, and it could continue here. Adam Barton with a challenge in again, very, very well, but this time instead drags through this back, and that's going to be a free kick on the near side for Spennymoor. To my point earlier, the glaring leakage problem in defence at the moment so far over these past 3 games. 11 goals conceded now after conceding 4 on last Tuesday night against Gateshead, and then 5 away from home against Kidderminster. They've now conceded another 2 at home. Something really, really needs to give, and in those 3 games, of course, in these 3 games they haven't even scored. They have all been 4-0 and 5-0. And of course the scoreline here currently, as we approach the half an hour mark of this second half, it is 2-0 as Craig Hobson cops one high, but play is going to continue. Here's Richardson on the far side of the ground for Spennymoor, who breezes past Craig Mann, now turns backwards inside towards the path of Mann. Here is Ramshaw, who retreats inside his own half. Taylor shouts for handball, but ignored. Still Taylor, who's trying to search for his hat-trick. Ramshaw to Oyibo, whose first touch was reaching, but doesn't connect. It is with him now, though, deep on the near side. Richards does well to not concede the corner there and thuds it against Ramshaw for a goal kick. Thulis and Ramshaw, they believing it should have been a corner. Not to be, not given. And we are ready to restart in these last 15 minutes plus stoppage time here at an overcast and bitter day here at the Tameside Stadium, and I think that quite sums up the atmosphere here as well. What was a little bit lively and a little bit louder in that first half has really darkened and dampened down. Here is Richardson on the far side for Spennymoor, but that was cut out by Mariette. The attentive flick on behind him from Piers. Flatters, who hasn't had too much to worry about this afternoon. Taylor was fouled by Wilson. And we're going to get another free kick here on the far side of the ground for Spennymoor Town. No further action at the moment on either bench. Just wondering if another change was going to come for Curzon Ashton to try and rescue a point from this game. As the free kick was looking to try and send Thulis in behind, but that ball had too much on it. And it is going to be a goal kick, which is taken quickly and short to Nolan. Here's Richards. Well, it was going to be Richards if it didn't sail over his head. Throw in to come now for Spennymoor. And now a change is being readied for Curzon Ashton. The second change of the afternoon for the home side. We'll let you know. I think it's Connor DeMaio that's the one that's being readied. The ball is lofted forward towards Oyibo. Here's Pye straight into the attacking areas of the ground. Here is Spokes continuing far side with Richardson for Spennymoor Town, continuing to try and press and perhaps chip away at that goal difference of theirs. Of course, now with the goals that they have scored, they have a level goal difference again. Bobbling around just on the edge of the 18-yard box. Taylor, Brearley. He's Thulis, who's just being watched and having to dribble close control. Brearley again combines with his fellow substitute and Spokes. Tries to play Richardson, and he keeps that ball in right in front of the linesman. He's going to send this ball in, and Taylor rose up looking for his hat trick. He thought the name was going to be up in lights. DeMaio is going to make his way on, and it's going to be Joe Nolan that is going to make way.
Replacing number 27, Joe Nolan.
So he's been around, he's been involved as Joe Nolan, but perhaps hasn't quite made the impact that Adam Lakeland was hoping for this afternoon. So on comes Connor DeMaio to try and rescue a point in these last 11 minutes plus stoppage time. Here though on the far side of the ground, it's Spennymoor Town yet again. That ball is sending through. Thulis was almost looking to try and chase that one as well with Wilson. There is Mann on the far side of the ground, being watched by Brearley. Here's Piers, fires a shot in. It thunders against the feet of the captain for Spennymoor. Richards sends the ball in, and Piers rose up, but its head was couldn't get on top and over the ball to head it down, and it's going to be another goal kick. It's going to be a goal kick to Spennymoor. Almost thought that there was going to be a goal there, and possibly a chance for a repeat and a rehash of the last meeting between these two teams in the league all the way back in October. It was 2-2 that day when Curzon travelled to Spennymoor. But there's of course no Jack Mackay anymore. Here's Wilson sending the ball long over towards Piers. Richards touching on Piers, does well to continue on that play. Piers, Curran to Hobson, looking to try and carve out a little bit of space. Now here's Richards on the near side of the ground. Oyibo comes tight to him. Swirling around, possibly looking for Lassie. DeMaio charges in there with a tackle, but then the ball from Barton on the switch attempt was very, very poor. And now on the counter-attack, here is Spokes, who's driving through the middle of the ground. He is dispossessed, though, twice. And Richards now for Curzon Ashton on the near side of the ground, who tries to send the ball over to Hobson. Oyibo rides a challenge. Going to pay the advantage. Here now is Brearley. Over to the far side of Richardson. Back to Brearley, and he's going to go all the way back into his defensive half. Tate and Pye linking up. Here now is the captain, Curtis. He's going to go back to the goalkeeper. Ooh, half a touch in there, I think, from Curran, who slams the turf in frustration. And Thulis might be in here. Renshaw's come off his line. Thulis couldn't recover in time. And it is cleared away by Wilson. And it's going to be a throw-in to Spennymoor Town. Gee, Thulis had timed his run there to absolute perfection. Chris Renshaw came off his line very, very quickly and missed the ball. But Thulis couldn't keep his footing. And Wilson was able to hook that one away to the near side touchline. It's going to be spotted, I think, 5 yards shy of the corner flag. As the last moments, we are inside the last 10 minutes of this game. It is still 2-0 to Spennymoor. But you'd have to say they certainly deserve 3 or 4. They've been good for their lead. And they've made the rude chances and the inability for Curzon Ashton to capitalise on their forward momentum in the first half. They've made them pay. Corner ball is going to come now for Spennymoor on the near side of the ground. After Pye was just trying to wriggle a bit of space, and Curran poking the ball through the back of the legs and going to go out for a corner. Be interesting to hear the thoughts of Adam Lakeland at the end of the game, especially if a third goal goes in here, as the corner is now taken and Renshaw initially collects, and he's going to look to try and spring free quickly. Curran sends the ball straight into the face of Pye. But it's still now sitting out here for Spennymoor, and still this was in behind. But he made his run a bit too late, took it round Renshaw and scored as well. But I think Renshaw realised that the flag had gone up. As Pye is still down here after taking a nice mouthful out of that match ball. Third and final change is being readied as well for Spennymoor Town. It looks like it is Claudio Afosu that is coming on. The Kettering signing, of course, we spoke about half-time, signed in January. And we will see who is going to be the man to make his way off. And I think it might actually be Pye that is coming off. There's a bit of confusion, I think, about who's coming off and who's going on. It's going to be a Yebo that's coming off.
Substitution for Spennymoor Town, number 16, Claudio Afosu, replacing number 18, Judah Yebo.
Well, a lot of confusion, a lot of hubbub and hullabaloo. There's some words being spoken towards the assistant linesman or the assistant referee on the near side of the ground here. Pye being waited to be waved on as that free kick comes to absolutely nothing, just sails out of play. I'm half surprised that a yellow card didn't get flashed towards the bench there with the way that this referee has taken back talk and dissent throughout the course of this game. If I could stop stuttering slightly. Watched over to the far side, and it's going to be a throw-in to Spennymoor Town, where I think you now have to resign the fact that this is going to mean that Curzon Ashton are going to go 5 games without a win. And it really is starting to look like panic stations for Adam Lakeland and his side. Of course, it's not going to get any easier. Brackley Town travel here, come to the Tameside Stadium on Tuesday night. And then Boston United on Saturday. Games coming thick and fast, of course, in the National League North, as they always like to do. Here is Piers now for Curzon Ashton. Passing the near side of the ground to Richards. Here's Curran now. Back to Richards. Tight on the near side, and it's going to be a throw-in for Curzon, which is taken quickly. Trying to go over the head and loop for Curran. Mann making his way into the box. Here is Curran now. Takes a left-footed shot and can't wrap that one around. And that one sails out of the ground for a goal kick to Spennymoor. So we are coming up to the last few minutes of this game. Glenn Taylor, certainly the man of the hour with his 2 goals. Could have had a third, and Jordan Phillips as well could have had 1 or 2 if A, he'd kept his run, held his run, and B, if he was able to latch onto the ball that Chris Renshaw couldn't latch onto after coming well out of his box. Here now is Craig Mann, switching over to the near side for Richards. There's a lot of space ahead of him. If he can move on to the ball, he lets it try and go the first time cross, and it's sent away by the captain, Curtis. And it's going to be another throw-in for Curzon Ashton, which Lassie initially stood over, but dishes it off instead to Richards. Ignores the run-in of Mann. They're going to win it back here, though. Here is Curran. Still on the near side. Lassie turns backwards and retreats inside the defensive half. It's Barton to Wilson. being chased down by Thulis, who's been really, really lively and doesn't quite have the goal to show for his performance. Here is Richards, though, trying to run into that ball that was played in behind. And it's just going to see its way out for a goal kick to Spennymoor. Spennymoor, they will host Bradford Park Avenue in their next game on Tuesday night. They will certainly be in high hopes and in good confidence after snapping their 4-game winless streak here this afternoon. And will certainly want to make it 2 wins in 2 in the next couple of days. Goal kick is sent over. A bit of a grappling match going on there between Taylor and Wilson. Here's Mann now, coming near side for Richards. A little bit of space ahead of him. Instead, he sends a high ball in, and Flatters was absolutely clattered into there by Craig Hobson. It's certainly an intimidating sight there. Is Craig Hobson flying into you, and he's going to take a few moments here, I think. Flatters, after being bundled over and thudded into. I think it's going to be nothing worse than a bit of winding and a bit of a jump scare, perhaps, for the big unit to come into him. He's back on his feet of his own accord, and he's going to be set to restart this game with the goal kick, or free kick, I should say. And free kick is going to come now again for Spennymoor Town against Wilson. And perhaps there is going to be a chance for a third. Trying to take that one quickly, but very, very high up the ground. 5 minutes of stoppage time is going to come, and there's going to be a yellow card to the double goal scorer. Glenn Taylor is going to see yellow, possibly for a delay of game. And now the ball is spotted in the right place for Ramshaw, who sends it over towards the far side of the ground. Spokes was trying to see his first substitute Brearley in on goal. Piers can't keep that one under control. And here's Richardson, who's been very, very good this afternoon for Spennymoor. Wilson cutting out now. Here is Richards, retreating back to Renshaw, who's going to go long down the ground to the middle of the park for Hobson. Mann can't quite continue to run onto that ball. There is Taylor. Now here is Mariette, who misplaces his pass, and now Thulis is in behind and is away. Is the angle of the ball not quite helping him out there? He's being watched by Barton. Here's Thulis. Good tackle in there, not away though. Brearley, goal! There it is. That'll seal the deal. Another 18-yard goal, and the substitute Ethan Brearley has sealed what has been a clinical game here for the visiting Spennymoor Town. The initial shot from Jordan Thulis was well defended and well blocked away by the waiting Adam Barton, who has barely put a foot wrong defensively, it certainly has to be said. But the ball finding its way out to Ethan Beerley on the edge of the 18-yard box. He just strokes home with his left boot into the far post, into the far corner. Nothing that Renshaw can do about it. And it is 3-0 now in the dying embers of stoppage time to the visiting Spennymoor Town. They are now definitely, without a doubt, breaking their 4-game winless streak, and their goal difference is now a positive one. It's been moved up to +1, and there could maybe be a chance for another one yet. Here's Thulis, who sprints to the far side of the ground in Richardson. Please don't make this a back-to-back-to-back game over 3-0. Here is Spokes on the far side, retreating and sending this ball back inside his own half. Receives the ball back again. Brearley was initially asking for that ball to be sent back into the own half, but instead it was at the feet of Theolis. Here is Afosu. First real involvement for him since coming on. Trying to drive past Richards, cuts it back as well, and Barton sends that one out from the near post. It's Curran that has it to feet, and that's a fierce, hard challenge in there from Spokes, and he knows immediately that he's going to be booked. That was a really, really ferocious challenge there from Spokes. Craig Mann has managed to make his way back onto his feet though. He is going to see out the remaining seconds of this game. I think the most alarming thing out of all of this though, of course, as it's now 12 goals conceded in the space of just 3 games. It's 3 games as well without a goal for Adam Lakeland's side, who are in a real spot of trouble here in this run-in. It's a very, very nervy time. This was certainly one of the games that was being eyed up on the fixture list and on the calendar in the middle of this run as being a competitive game, and one that Curzon Ashton could perhaps get something from, but it's not happened for them for one reason or another. There's certainly a multitude of reasons for it. Here is Richards on the near side of the ground, finding Curran, who can't pass backwards to Richards. Thulis goes in hard, fighting, continuing to battle, and a free kick is going to go to Spennymoor. And they're going to take it quickly as well, with Thulis barely trying to set Spokes free on the far side of the ground, but that one bounces into the hands of Renshaw, who yet again has been a passenger for the most part in this game. I think the first goal really is the only one that you can kind of really point a little bit of fingers, a little bit of blame towards, after he was beaten at his near post. Not many keepers should be doing that, while letting that happen. Mann trying to send Piers through, but that's being watched well by Tate. And he's just going to see that one into touch and in front of the home bench. And throw in taken quickly by Richards. Here's Mann, who sees a little bit of a gap and tries to draw him into it. Afosu does well in the challenge there. Here is Mariette, who's been very quiet in this second half, swinging a ball in towards the box, and that will be easy to claim for Flatters, and that is going to do it. Well, an afternoon of joy for Spennymoor Town, the visitors, but an afternoon of absolute misery as Curzon Ashton concede another 3 goals, and it's 12 conceded in the space of 3 games. It is 5 games without a win for Adam Lakeland's side, but take nothing away from the performance of the visiting Spennymoor Town. A double for Glenn Taylor. The first goal coming in the opening 10 minutes. Left-footed shot beating Chris Renshaw at his near post from outside the box. It was a similar story in the second goal as well, outside the box, and then to finish it off, Ethan Brearley scoring to make it 3. So that's going to do it here from a really, really frustrating afternoon at the Tameside Stadium. Thank you to all of those that have joined us for the coverage this afternoon. We will be back here Tuesday night for Curzon Ashton against Brackley. But until then, well, I leave you with the scoreline and a worry. It is full time here at the Tameside Stadium. Curzon Ashton 0, Spennymoor Town 3. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, folks. I will see many of you again on Tuesday night. But for those that want to stick around and are regulars to the channel, I will see you all again tomorrow morning for some more Aussie Rules content. Catch up.